over a month of unanswered telephone calls and text messages, this package was the first sign of reply from Rich since I've started the BMW i8 project. He's become my only hope to fix this car without spending well over $10,000. Rich is one of the only people in the world to rebuild one of these cars, and due to the severity of his car's damage, he's worked on nearly every system on it, well past bodywork to electrical and other mechanical repairs. If there's a way to repair my car without buying a complete new replacement motor, he's the guy that would know. Just now, when I thought all hope was gone, hey Rich, I've been trying to get a hold of you, man. What's going on?
Sam, what's up, baby? How you doing? You sounding crispy right now. What's good?
Well, that's because I'm talking to you on my Cove Commuter 2 wireless speaker. Its Bluetooth connectivity pairs with my phone seamlessly. It's got a built-in microphone, and I can make and take phone calls in stereo sound wherever I go.
Now, what can be better than hearing me in stereo sound, Sam? Did you get the package I sent you, by the way?
Yeah, Rich, I got it, but we got to talk about something much more important right now. That's this i8 that I bought. It's shaping up to be a real disaster. The machine shop said that the head-on is so badly warped. The block is probably bad. I called the dealership up. They want over $10,000 for this little 3-cylinder, and that's like with the core charge, so I got to bring them back the block. And on top of it, there's a bunch of hardware I'd have to add to a new engine. So the car ran decent enough, but we got to misshape an engine here. Is there anything I can do to repair this thing and get the car running that won't literally bankrupt me?
I'm going to put you in touch with the guy that's going to help you way more than I ever could. You know the big guy, right?
No.
The chosen one?
Who?
JC.
Rich, who are you talking about?
Sam, I don't have time for this right now. Listen.
The answers you seek are in the book that I sent you. Open the book,
And the answers are in there.
Typical Rich. Unreliable as usual. About the only thing I can't rely on anymore is my Cove Commuter 2. Its built-in battery gives me about 7 hours of playtime. It's also water resistant, so if I'm outside and it starts to rain, well, I don't have to worry about it. I can just keep listening. It sounds so good, especially in stereo mode, and if you want to check out Commuter 2 for yourself, go ahead and click my link in the description box below. Make sure you use this coupon code at checkout, and you're going to get over 67% off your very own commuter speaker. I got to give a huge thanks to Cove for pumping my barn full of tunes and for also sponsoring this video. I know we can fix this car, and I think we can even get it done on a budget. And in a moment, I'll show you how avoiding a knee-jerk reaction and spending just a few minutes doing some simple research will fix my problem for a fraction of the dealer quoted price. Now, last time we left off on the i8, the amazing techs at Eurocharged in Orlando, Florida dropped the engine from the i8, and we pulled the cylinder head off to find our failed head gasket. I took the cylinder head to a local machine shop, and here's what they had to say.
This is 5, and it's very loose.
Yeah.
So at this point, there's no reason to go any further because the head's no good. It's warped too bad. The two things that happen, the two major things that happen, when you resurface the head so much, the valves are that much closer to the piston.
Yeah.
What it also does is the cams and the chain, it retards the timing the more you resurface the head, and the computer can't,
Sure.
make up for that. So you may get it to have compression. You've got a piston that's a lot closer to the valve, and B, you've got the computer that's kind of freaking out because the timing is all off.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this got significantly hot. Yeah.
Get a new engine is what you're telling me.
The fact that the head is warped this bad leads me to believe there's probably some damage on the block too.
Now seriously, on the drive back from the machine shop, I called the dealer. I figured the only way out of this was a new engine. I was quoted around $10,000, and while I really respect the opinion of the machinist here, it's worth a few minutes of time to actually check the block versus just assuming that it's bad. All right, Mr. Davis, thank you very much. He lent us his straight edge. We're going to do the same thing they just did at the machine shop, but with the block. This will determine whether we need an entire engine replacement. Stephen, we don't need an engine replacement. We're going to make this work one way or another.
So we actually showing how to DUI the straight edge.
Yes, we're going to DUI the straight edge. So we're going to do it, yeah, it's DIY. It's okay, Stephen, we'll get it one day.
My bad.
All right, so basically, as far as I read in my quick straight edge DIY tutorial, you could do it straight edge diagonal, like we're doing here, and then we're gonna see if we can get it straight. It's just so big. So I'm putting that there and it's getting caught. It's not going through, that's good.
It's not going through? Okay,
No.
that's good.
It's really nice. Now, Of course, we got to go and try and get this, Steven, as centered as we can, like right in the middle here.
Yeah.
So that we see, because this would be our most problematic area, but so far so good. We're going to try and track down a smaller straight edge so we can put it directly across the block. Do the same test again, but the fact that the smallest measurement here on our feeler gauge is not going in between, especially in the very thin areas in the block. Fingers crossed here we might be able to salvage things.
Okay. Let's see, we just gotta throw in probably the head gasket, and then I'm pretty sure it's gonna be fixed.
And a new cylinder head, right?
Yeah, or the head gasket sealer. Would
Yeah.
it be nice to throw it in, you know?
Yeah. That's gonna be
Gonna-
on Sam. We're
gonna-
gonna have to see what he says.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna agree with me. You know, it's gonna put some RTV or something like that whenever we put the new head gasket, so it can seal properly. You know, and then pretty sure it's gonna be better than ever.
It's a really good idea, Steven. I like your thinking outside the box. A tube of red RTV is like, what, $5? And it will fill in the nice warpage in our cylinder head, at least for a few miles. Now, thinking outside the box is something we really need because we've got a dilemma here. We've got good news that the block is nice and flat, but the only problem is that a brand new cylinder head is still kind of expensive at $2,500. It's way better than the $10,000, so I'm good with that. But that cylinder head has to come from Germany, and they told me it's about 2 to 3 weeks out. And I've got to be mindful because the car is on the lift at Eurocharged, and I can't occupy their bay for this long. And so that's when I started doing some real deep digging, but not right now, Rich. Now, besides being mindful of Eurocharge and their shop floor, I also want to be mindful about you guys in making these videos. Now, if that were to compromise the quality of the repair, I wouldn't do it, but there's more than one way here, and that's because this is a common engine, at least the blueprint for the i8's engine, because it's used on current day Mini Coopers. This 3-cylinder 1.5 liter turbo is the same exact one put into the Cooper Countryman here in the United States. But the big difference is the Cooper Countryman has about 130 to 150 horsepower, whereas this i8 engine puts out almost 230. So there's definitely some internal differences, and finding out exactly what those internal differences will help me figure out how we can repair this engine without having to order parts from Germany, just being able to use very cheap Mini Cooper parts here in the United States. Now, I do want to take 1 second to explain to you exactly what we were doing with the straight edge. Basically, you put this on top of the block as you saw Steven doing, or on top of the cylinder head as you saw the machine shop doing, and then you take these right here. These are a set of feeler gauges, and all these do is measure a very fine amount. Now, you heard the machinist say, I'm using a 5. This is a number 5 right here. That's 0.005 of an inch. That's 0.13 millimeters. The thickest feeler gauge I could use was one size up, a 0.006. That's 0.15 of a millimeter. That is the thickest that would fit through the really thin areas in between the cylinder walls. Now, everywhere else where there's just a lot of solid metal, I didn't see any warpage. And while I was shopping for replacement parts and hardware for this engine, I found something that many of you guys did and commented on in the last video, and that's that BMW actually makes 2 different head gaskets for the i8. They make one for a cylinder head that's been repaired. They make one factory one. The one for the cylinder head that's been repaired is actually 0.3 of a millimeter thicker than the original. That's double the thickness of, well, the weakest spot that I found in our cylinder head. So if that's the case, well, why couldn't it be milled out? And a lot of you guys asked this same exact question, so I think it's only fair we get a second opinion here. A lot of you mentioned that even if a cylinder head is warped really bad, it can still be repaired through heat and some bending. Basically, what a machine shop can do is stick your cylinder head in an oven with clamps around it, and a little bit at a time, they can kind of push things back into place. What I did is I took my i8 cylinder head to a local machine shop I've done business with a bunch of times in the past, and they've been around for decades. When I explained to them all the measurements, they said that they fixed things much worse than this. And based upon what they saw, they quoted me for just a simple resurfacing and cleaning, which is $100. if we can fix this thing for $100, it will be incredible. Now I want to point out one other thing. If you look at this area right here on the cylinder head, there's actually a little spot. This is kind of like a guide marking, and basically this is put there by the manufacturer to tell you how deep you can resurface the head without it compromising the way the engine works. And at just a simple glance, this guide is much deeper than 0.15 millimeter. So if we get this head resurfaced and we add the thicker head gasket, which costs about $150, we can fix this i8, and I would say we could do it with well less than $1,000 in parts. Now, just at the machine shop yesterday, so I should be hearing back any moment from them whether we're gonna be able to reuse our old head or whether it's too far gone. If it is bad, well, I've got one last Hail Mary solution that I think will work, and again, it won't break the bank. Remember, this engine is similar to that of the Mini Cooper, but we don't need the whole engine, we just need the top end. So how different is each head? To find the answer, I went number by number in the BMW parts catalog, and I only found 2 different part numbers. Those are the exhaust valves and the camshafts, which we obviously have off our old warped head. Theoretically, a machine shop could swap all the parts over, kind of Frankenstein this together. And I ran this idea by my buddy Pat over at Pat's Garage, and I asked his opinion. He only came back with one question, and that was in the original BMW training guide for the i8. They list the differences. They tell you, again, basically what I just told you, but they do say that the actual head itself is cast slightly different. And this is, again, where I get stuck. Maybe you guys can enlighten me whether this would make a difference or not. If you can, drop me a comment. The one guy who would know doesn't respond to my phone calls. And, oh, hold on one second. I thought for sure it would be the machine shop calling me. Rich, he left me a voice message. Hold on.
Hey Sam, just checking in to see if you had a chance to read the good word today. The answers you seek are in the Bible I sent you. May the odds be ever in your favor.
What's up with him laughing all the time? He's still, okay. You know what? Maybe he has a point here. I've really kind of just written off all of Rich's ideas, even though he's the one I seek help from the most. So let's give it a shot. No wonder. And I knew Rich would come through. That son of a...